We back again. Woo! We're back again with another reading Reddit ghost stories. Reading real ghost stories. I just find these videos really fun to film. I don't know what other content to film. Just kidding. I don't really have time for any other kind of content. And it's not like I'm settling for this because I really enjoy this content. And if you're here to get spooked with me again, or so you just stay tuned, my big B. And I made other videos like this. I have 2 other videos like this. One I made for Halloween and one I made after that. And if you'd like to be spooked up more after this video, if you stay for the end, go check those out. And please subscribe and click the like button and leave me a comment because I really love talking to you guys, whatever the comment is about. I'm just like, yay, hello. It's really nice. Let's hydrate before this. So once again, we are on Reddit. It's Reddit/ghost stories. I want to preface by saying these stories are not mine. I did not write these. I am just reading them, and I'll be reading out the usernames. And I will leave a link to the subreddit in the description as well. Along with my social, follow me. This one was written 14 hours ago. It's quite short, which I don't mind. And it's by a user called Tony Stark Was Right 1. What? Wait a minute. And it's called I Think There's a Ghost in My Apartment, but I'm Trying to Think Logically. Well, this has started since Saturday, where I woke up around 3 a.m. with a huge pain in my neck, like someone was applying pressure. I'm sure it wasn't sleep paralysis because I could move easily, but I also heard footsteps around my bed and like someone was leaning over me, and my bedroom door opened by itself. Shit. Also, it's always 3 a.m., isn't it? Like, if someone's like, I woke up at 3 a.m., you're like, nope, don't tell me. You got a ghost experience, did you? A few days later, my mom said she heard laughing at around midnight and heard footsteps. Oh, that's very creepy. Now this week, my brother said he was eating in the kitchen and then our mirror fell on the floor. He said it's like someone flinged it to the door. Flinged it. It's like someone flinged it to the door. To the floor! Oh my god, I'm so sorry. And last night, my mom was saying stuff that happened before I was born, and she said a lot of accidents occurred that could have made her have a miscarriage with me, and it felt like something was trying to get rid of me before I was even born. Bitch, if the demons are attacking you when you're in your mom's womb, you know something is wrong. The last few days has been the same thing over and over again, waking up at 3 a.m. and hearing nothing but footsteps and something leaning over me. I'm losing patience. No one gives me an answer or a solution. Hopefully some of you on here might know something. This is feels very real. Just because he wrote it they wrote it 14 hours ago. It seems very that's what I imagine real people would react to paranormal experiences if they were kind of spooked, is that they would be freaking out straight away. You know, some people tell stories, they're like, I've had paranormal stuff happen to me for 5 years, and you're like, and you didn't say anything, why were you not more freaked out? And this person is just like, oh my god, someone help. Tell the thing to go away. If something's haunting you, I just know that much, that you should just be like, leave. Please. Please leave. Okay, this one is called Closing Up the Theater for the Night, and it is by a user called Killing Me Smalls 4. Little backstory. I work in an old theater that was initially built in the 1930s to show talkies. It's undergone some renovation and a few additions, but we kept everything pretty much the same design-wise. It's an awesome example of Art Deco in theaters and a recognized historic place by the National Park Services. It's absolutely stunning if I do say so myself. Oh, that's cool. A lot of the staff experienced ghosts or spirits throughout their work at the theater, mostly when they're solo in various parts of the building. The balcony and the restrooms seem to be hotspots, but I actually had the best encounter in the Grand Gallery, which is the newest part of the building. That's interesting, that it's the newest part and you had a haunting there. Dunno. I'm often tasked with closing up shop for the evening as a house manager, and on this particular night, I was the absolute last person in the building campus. No one was backstage, no cleaning, no security. So I did my rounds, starting with double checking all the dressing rooms and clearing the backstage, shutting off lights as I go. Making my way through the house, actual theater, I shut off those lights and proceed to the original entry and lobby. Double check all the exterior doors on my way, and saying out loud what I was doing and the steps I was walking. It was my first time closing up solo. I shut those lights off and then proceed to double check that all the bars were locked down, freezers locked, radios charging, etc. All good. Check the balcony area and basement as well, just in case. Clear. The basement. Ew, by yourself in an old theater. Ew! My god. I make my way up to my office just off the Grand Gallery. I check my phone and text my mom. Let her know I'm just about to head out for the night and I will be home shortly. I get my coat on, check the safe is locked, computer shut down, everything is secure. I turn off my office light and make it maybe 10 spaces into the Grand Gallery, asking out loud, "Now, did I forget anything?" Clear as day, I hear someone answer me, "You missed me." Oh my god. I actually responded, "Nice try," and proceeded to exit to the vestibule to set the alarms for the building. Once those are on, I make my way across the street to my parking garage. I've had other encounters with the spirits in the theater. They're generally inquisitive, playful, or just there, never malicious. What? That is such a weird reaction. You're like, just like talking to yourself, "Oh, did I forget anything?" And someone's like, "You missed me." And you're like, whatever, that's just nothing. Just no one, just like, what? Who reacts this way? It's kind of strange, but also it's a very cool story. And I would love to see what the theater is. It would have been great if she told us where it was. This one's a bit longer, but I feel like it should be a good one. This is by the user Seb I Web with 2 B's I. Sebi Webby. And it's called a drunken Ouija game. I have 2 ghost stories that I've experienced in my life that are 100% real. The first happened when I was about 15 at my aunt's house in Southern California. Every summer as a kid I spent at least a month at my aunt's house with my cousins. My aunt was a foster parent, and a very good one, so her agency always gave her the most disturbed and troubled kids. At the time, she has a Native American kid that was heavily medicated and disturbed. My cousin Jessie is about 2 years younger than me, and we always were getting ourselves into trouble. Earlier that day, my cousin Jessie suggested we play the Ouija board. I told him to bleep off. It's later in the evening, and Jessie and I decided to wait for everyone to fall asleep and raid the alcohol cabinet. How old were you? 15. Oh, okay. Rude. We stole one water bottle filled with a little bit of everything and passed it back and forth non-stop until we finished it. We were messed up. He brings up the Ouija board again, and me, being as drunk as I am, agree to it. We attempted to make a board out of lined paper and a marker. Pretty sure we didn't even make the board correctly. Neither one of us have ever played the game before. We start asking it the normal questions. Is anyone here with us? What is your name? You know, stuff like that. Nothing happens. We both start laughing and think it's a joke now. I start cussing out the ghost, calling it a pussy, and saying he ain't got to do shit. And we go about our night until we both pass out in his room. I wake up in the middle of the night having to go piss super bad. I stumble from the top of the bunk bed and make my way down the hallway to the bathroom. I go into the bathroom and see all the drawers and cabinets open, but nothing registers, and I take my pee and go back to the room without paying it any mind. Jessie and I wake up that morning super dehydrated and feeling like crap. We stumble to the bathroom to make coffee. To the bathroom? My aunt is always awake super early, so of course she was already in the kitchen cooking and cleaning and whatnot. She sees us and looks super surprised and says, "Did you see the house this morning?" And we just look back at her super confused. She says, "I kid you not, every single window, cabinet, drawer, and door in this whole entire house was opened. When I woke up this morning, Jessie and I realized that we have done what we had done and looked at each other like, no way." My aunt then proceeds to blame it on the foster kid because he was known for sleepwalking, but usually when he would sleepwalk, he would just kind of stand there at the door of his bedroom, still super creepy, and she said he was never done anything like that before and kind of laughed it off. We never really told her what happened that night. Oh, that's very weird. This almost Oh, this is just so strange. Like, they could have done that, but I doubt they did, and I doubt that foster kid did it. So that is very creepy. This one is by a user called Benny Dinero, and it is called I used to wake up to black figures in my room almost every night. What? About a year ago, I was in a very dark place spiritually and emotionally. I rarely prayed. I had so many insecurities, worries, and problems in my life. It was a struggle to just get by day. Also, I'm reading off my laptop, in case anyone was wondering. It was at this period in my life I started to wake up to black demonic figures in my room almost every night. That is so scary. If you watch my other videos, you'll see that just like anything, like standing there, or like the thought of anyone just watching you sleep, and it's, oh my god, it gives me chills. It reminds me of this dream I once had, and even thinking about it, I get chills. And I would love to make a video on it, but it would honestly be like 2 minutes because it's not that long. Usually they show up either beside or at the end of my bed. Tall, sinister, and blacker than black. I never had sleep paralysis, and there was never anything in my room that could look like these things, yet I still saw them. I got so bad I had to sleep with a flashlight next to my bed because the only way to get rid of them was to quickly shine my torch at them when I woke up. Usually I'll wake up to one in my room, which would freak me out on its own, but one night I woke up and saw 3 of them all surrounding my bed. Oh my god, that's so scary. Oh, that gives me chills. They were all the same height and all facing straight towards me, not moving or talking, just watching. That terrified me. Now, all this can be explained rationally, right? Overactive imagination or just being half asleep, right? Well, I have 2 reasons why I think these things are very real. I woke up one night seeing a smaller one like a child at the end of my bed. For some reason, I wasn't scared. I think it was because I was still waking up. I have never spoken to these things ever, but on that night I did. I just said, "I can see you," while looking towards it and the creepiest thing happened. It started moving towards my desk. It literally stood behind my desk as if it was trying to hide. Crazy if you ask me. My other reason is earlier this year, some missionaries came to our place for dinner, and I asked them to bless the house and our family. After that, I never saw one in my room again. Call it a coincidence. I don't think it is. I think those things were very real. I don't tell anyone in my family because I think they would be creeped out, to say the least, and I don't want to scare them. That is so scary. That is such a scary story, like them just staring at you. And like you hear of people don't usually interact with them, but like if they see that you're looking, they like hover above you and weird stuff like that. But he addressed it like, "I see you," and it hid. That is so spooky, and that is something a child would do, so that's really creepy. That was a really good one. Now this one's a bit longer, but hopefully it's a good one. This one is called The Hauntings of a Friend, and it's by the user JAnonymous911. I have a best friend who I believe is haunted. My friend and I have been together since the 3rd grade. Throughout our many years of friendship, we have been through some strange, ghostly encounters that only ever occurred when we were together. The first encounter was with a young girl's spirit. It was broad daylight, the morning after a sleepover at her house, and I was getting my things together to go home. My friend and her mom were both downstairs making breakfast, and I was upstairs in the bedroom. I was knelt down beside her bed, trying to retrieve my phone, which had fell, when I suddenly felt like someone was watching me. I glanced up at the doorway and saw a short figure of a girl, and this time I thought it was my friend because she was also very short. I called out to figure out and said, "I'll be down in just a minute," thinking that she was just checking up on me. I finally reached my phone, glanced back up, and the figure is gone. I thought it was strange as it only took a second for me to grab the phone and look back up. It shouldn't have been enough time for her to disappear. As I'm walking down the stairs, a few things occurred to me, such as the fact that she didn't say anything back to me and how I hadn't heard her come up the very squeaky stairs. When I reached the kitchen, I found my friend and her mom cooking. I asked my friend what she needed, and she gave me a confused look. I asked her why she had went upstairs, and her mom told me they had been downstairs the entire time. ooh, spooky. I find things really scary when, let's say, you're not the only one in the house, but people are like in the sitting room or living room just together. Then you go off by yourself and to like get something in your bedroom. And then you hear stuff like you saw someone. Because you always think you can only be haunted when you're alone and at night. But it's scary when it can happen when there's other people around and you just wander off a bit. I find that very scary. On another occasion, a few years later, I was at my friend's house again. She had long since moved from the house I had saw the figure in. On this particular afternoon, her mom was at work and we were alone in the house. We wanted to watch a movie, so we were sitting on the couch watching TV when suddenly the TV turned off without any warning. Thinking that one of us had hit the power off button, we tried turning it back on. However, it still wouldn't turn on. So we did a short investigation and found that the power cord had been pulled away from the wall. That's so scary. We thought it was odd, but brushed it off. A few minutes later, we hear a crash come from the kitchen. We go into the kitchen to find a pan and some plates which had originally been in the dish drainer on the floor. At that point, we were a little unsettled. We picked up the mess and went back to our movie. You didn't do anything? Like, I'd be like, there's someone in the house. There's a burglar. They're trying to kill me. I'd be like, I'm out. That's when one of our lamp lights went out, to which we simply replaced it. Sometime later, I had to go to the bathroom. I had always been scared of the small hallway leading to the bathroom because at the end of the hallway was a huge mirror that took up the entire wall. So I had my friend walk me to the bathroom. Just as we started down the hallway, I noticed something in the doorway of my friend's bedroom. It was a short black figure peeking around the trim. I asked my friend to look at her doorway. She seemed quizzical, but complied with my request. Her face drained of its color, and we both shared this look of fear before taking off at a run back to the living room. Afterwards, we determined that we both had seen the same figure in her doorway. Advanced to a few months later, my friend was staying at my house, so I was too afraid to stay at her house anymore. Fair enough. We were up late one night, about 2 or 3 in the morning. I had a dachshund puppy who was being potty trained and needed to go potty. So my friend and I go to the front door and let the dog out to do its business. Now, where the front door is in my house is positioned so that you can see down our long hallway. I also need to mention that we were both afraid of the dark, so when we left my room, we had turned on every light in the house, including the hallway light. Well, we were standing at the front door joking and having a good time when my friend freezes mid-conversation. She points past me at the hallway, and I turn just in time to see this tall man in a trench coat walk out of our spare bedroom across the hallway. And I turned just in time to see this tall man in a trench coat walk out of our spare bedroom across the hallway and into the wall on the other side. Freaked out, we get the dog back in and run to my mom's room to tell her what happened. My mom didn't believe us about the man and sent us to my room to go to bed. So trying to put it out of our minds, we lay down and tried to get some sleep. A few hours later, after we were finally asleep, my friend had kicked the covers into the floor at the end of my bed and was reaching down to get them. She screamed and started pushing me to wake up. I woke with a start and happened to glance down at the foot of her bed where the man in the trench coat was now standing, his figure outlined by the light of the TV. Freaked out, I quickly turned the lamp on and looked back to see that he had disappeared. Needless to say, we didn't sleep for the rest of the night. I never saw any of these spirits or figures when my friend wasn't around, and it didn't matter where she moved to, there always seemed to be activity. That is so scary. The way some people tell stories as well are so spooky. Wow, that was very scary. And the man is just staring at you. Oh my god. Now, this is going to be the last story I read, and it's very short. Now, this story is by the user called I_am_less. And it's called I've Seen Shadows Before, but Nothing Has Ever Happened Like Tonight. There are a few reasons I believe my house is haunted. First, we live in my grandmother's house. She didn't technically die here, but she had her final stroke here and died later at the hospital. I can still smell her perfume for fleeting moments randomly. Second, we have my mother-in-law's ashes in a box in a linen closet. There was some fighting among her children as to what to do with them. We ended up holding on to them until the kids could agree on what to do. It will be 9 years next month since her death. Third, our home is backed up against the hill. That hill is a cemetery. You're kidding? Like, really? A cemetery? Hearing gunshots from 21 gun salutes is nearly a daily occurrence. I do not look out the window at the hill at night. I swear you can see shadows moving amongst the headstones. No. And finally, I have a hard time sleeping. I often end up working in the middle of the night from my laptop. Tonight I was in the main room in the basement. My kids' rooms all connect to this room. I was typing away and the kitchen light went on upstairs. You can see the glow on the stairs when the light goes on. I heard my husband cross the floor, open the fridge, close it, cross the floor and turn off the lights. I didn't think anything of it at first. Then I froze. My husband is 200 miles away on a business trip until Friday. It wasn't any of my kids. They would have needed to walk by me to get to the kitchen. I searched the house. No one was there. I checked the outside cameras thinking maybe someone broke in. Nothing. When I was searching, the front door blew open. It was just the wind, right? I know I locked it though. My husband is gone. Now I'm too freaked out to sleep. Here's to another long night. Oh, very, very weird. My God. The cemetery one reminded me of the story my dad told. He told a few stories of experiences him and my granddad that I've had near cemeteries. Because my granddad, he was my real granddad, but he was a priest. So he was very comfortable with death and all the stuff. And even this experience, he said, had freaked him out because he could just feel something was wrong. But yeah, if you guys would like me to tell those stories from my granddad and my dad, let me know in the comments. I like this video, so maybe I could get my dad to really explain it to me in detail, and then I could retell it here on behalf of him. So yeah, let me know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, another spooky time again. And yeah, I look forward to making more videos. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!